Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, Stan might be having like a high right now because he beat Leben, and then they get
but you never. Maybe
Stan's
Stan's much better than we even think. You know, he talks about
maybe it's some John Hathaway effect again.
It all depends what type of veto comes out.
But fight. He was also the second man to finish Leben after Anderson Silva. That's pretty impressive.
Yep. Anything else you guys want to comment on 132? Any of the fights taken there?
132, awesome card. Might not be big on name value, but
Wicked
the fight
card.
quality is looking
the
very,
fact
very
that
good.
Dennis Seaver or Melvin Gillard may be on the prelims.
Yeah.
There's a lot of names on this card.
Yeah. Well, I think, let's mention it again. Those two got screwed over in their
Bader
fights.
and Ortiz are also on the card.
Pardon?
Bader and Ortiz are also on the card.
Yeah.
Like,
Ortiz's last fight?
possibly.
Ortiz.
Let's hope so.
Another good fight on the card, Evan Dunham and George Soteropoulos.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good fight. I got Dunham.
You know what? I'm actually going to be really disappointed if that makes the main card.
No. I
wouldn't be disappointed.
Do you know why? Dennis Seaver beats Soteropoulos, gets put on the prelim card, the prelims and Soteropoulos gets put on the main card of the same card. That's
Seaver and Gillard have beaten those two in their fights, the last few fights.
Exactly.
So I think they should probably get the main card. But then again, who the hell is Matt Wyman?
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. This is just bad matchmaking.
What's going on?
Melvin Gillard should have got a rematch with Dennis Seaver.
So last up, we got pretty big news if this fight actually happens. Fedor taking on Henderson, possibly for July. It's not finalized as of yet, but it seems really likely. The fact how much they're talking about it, it seems right now the only obstacle right now is seeing what weight they would be fighting at, whether it's a catch weight or Dan Henderson going up to heavyweight and fighting.
Yeah, that's the point I want to touch on. Does anyone else find that weird? Fedor wants a catch weight, and Henderson saying, "I'd rather just do the fight at heavyweight."
Yep. And
what the hell's the problem then?
It's pretty obvious that the light heavyweight title won't be on the line, so this will be a fun fight in terms of two legends going at it, and it'll be huge. You know what I mean? If we can't get Randy Couture and Fedor, we might as well get these two in. You know what I mean?
So is this a must-win for Fedor? Can you see him going on a?
I think if he loses, he's going to retire.
I think his past, fights garner a 3-fight losing streak. I mean,
especially if he gets H-bombed.
It's hard to say due to the competition that he's faced.
There's just still so much money with Fedor out there.
Yeah,
I think
that's a good point.
If they book a Fedor and Brock fight, it's still going to make just as money as it would.
But his name's like a brand.
I still don't want
brand name fights.
I don't want Fedor to become like Jens Pulver or someone. Goes on like a 7-fight.
I don't think it'll get to that point.
No, I think if it gets like past a 4-fight losing streak or something like that,
it's done.
I think he's going to be on a fight-to-fight basis from now.
Yeah.
I kind of have a feeling.
His name's just there for money.
I think he doesn't want to also like tarnish his legacy too, because after the 2 losses, it's tarnished a little bit in the eyes. Although he is still considered the greatest heavyweight.
Strikeforce actually got even though Fedor lost, they actually got a pretty good value out of his loss in terms of building up Verdum's name, building up Antonio Silva's name. And everybody just thought Fedor was, everybody just thought Fedor was just going in there because he was going to win everything. That they were marketing him the most in this heavyweight Grand Prix even before it started. You know what I mean? And look at him now, the 2-fight losing streak, but it still builds up names for Strikeforce. So it was a win-win either way.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree.
Verdum looks like he can be probably the top heavyweight at the end of the year if he comes out of this whole thing.
I still have Overeem beating him.
I have Overeem beating him as well, but
if he gets by Overeem, then I might be convinced that he's going to take the tournament.
He's beaten Overeem before, but obviously it's not the same Overeem as now. And
at least I hope so, because he has been fighting a few cans, but
it's going to be a good fight.
It's definitely going to be a good fight.
Oh yeah,
it's just
fight.
So getting back on topic, Fedor and Henderson. Say this fight does happen, catch weight or heavyweight, whatever they do.
This is what I'm confused about. They want like a catch weight, right? Henderson walks around at 220. Fedor walks around at 230. So what's a catch weight going to be? 220, 225 or something? Just put it as a heavyweight fight. They walk around the same weight anyway, so that's why I don't see what the big deal is.
Unless the Fedor's wanting to cut so he stays down at a lower weight. They're just trying to experiment. It never...
Perhaps.
Can't rule out that option, too.
All right, say this fight happens. Who do you think would win?
Hendo.
easily, or would it be a war?
He'll grind out
I
a
think
win.
Henderson looks much more impressive now today than Fedor does today. Even though Henderson's much older than him too.
Yeah.
What people don't realize, but he looked amazing against Fejao.
He looked amazing, but Fedor, he said he didn't even change anything of his training.
Yeah, that's the problem. He's got to start doing that
for big fight.
Actually, he's over in Netherlands right now, training.
What was Alistair over him or something?
I don't know who he's training with. He's actually training in Netherlands. There was a Dutch fighter in one of the past cards that actually said, yeah, he is over there. I forgot which fighter it was though, but he's actually in Netherlands training. They said he did change up his camp a little bit, but a lot of fighters are.
I remember seeing this interview. I can't remember who said it either.
Yeah, a lot of fighters are saying that if Fedor doesn't update his training or anything.
Musasi said that.
Yeah, it was Musasi. It was Ariel Huani. I asked him. He's like, "Oh, I heard Fedor was training over there." He's like, "Yeah, I did see him."
Yeah.
So
that's good for him because he needs to switch it up.
Yeah.
The rest of the world in MMA has caught up so much in terms of training styles. Everyone's training in everything, and you can't just be specializing in one form of fighting.
Yeah, everybody's changed from when Fedor was the dominant figure he is.
Yeah.
Everybody's become better, and everybody's probably figured out his style. So he needs to switch it up a little bit more, use that skill that he actually has in a more skilled environment as it is now. Any more comments you guys got on this? Because
I think that's going to be a wicked stand-up war.
Yeah,
it'll be a wicked fight though.
It's going to be a good fight.
They're just going to be trading bombs.
Yeah,
I think.
Did you see against Bigfoot?
Yeah,
Fedor
he was just
going at it.
And
Henderson, he'll welcome that, man.
All right, we got 4 minutes. I just want to quickly talk about the Ultimate Fighter season. Season 13 now. They're in 14.
What a garbage season.
Season 13. The second episode. The ending fight was
a snooze fest.
Yeah, it was a snooze fest. Chris Cope taking on Javier Torres. They were actually
clinched for 15 minutes.
They hyped up Javier Torres a lot in the first episode, saying he's the cardio freak of the bunch.
Did they say cardio freak?
Yeah, they said he was a cardio freak of the bunch.
He gassed after what? A round and a half, and he's a welterweight.
Yep. 2 rounds. They went to a sudden death round, and Chris Cope takes the win
because of his conditioning.
Yeah, a lot of people were doubting him. It seemed like you could have seen it coming because of the amount of hype they were putting around Chris Cope and being, I'm such an underdog, but I'm keeping faith. I read this letter that my girlfriend sent me every day. Yeah. They didn't really show a lot about Javier Torres.
Brock's whole any given Sunday speech, which pretty much was telling me that he had no hope in Chris Cope either, but
I was thinking of the exact same thing. Cope is sitting there, really, man.
Yeah, seriously,
a little bit more
have
faith,
no hope
please.
in me, really.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Keon Caldwell?
Oh yeah,
that was pretty.
He actually left.
Dumb.
For you guys don't know, he actually left saying he wants to see his daughter and all that type of stuff.
I got you.
In terms of that, I personally think he should have thought of that before he auditioned.
Exactly.
Because look how many people come out to these tryouts and want to get into the show, and then he just ditches in the second.
You're kind of wasting a spot that someone else really
exactly.
wants.
And it seemed like Dana White was really pissed off.
Oh yeah, Dana White.
You see the interview after?
He said, I'm glad that at least that he left early so we could get in a replacement.
Get in somebody who's more determined. And shit.
You really got to know what you're getting yourself into when you're getting into these types of situations. The regulations of what has to happen. You can't have any contact with it.
I actually read in an interview, one of the Ultimate Fighter contestants, he said about Keon Caldwell that he looked out of shape and wasn't really performing well during the trainings, and he thought that secretly that's why he wanted to leave as well.
He probably didn't want to put a blemish on his.
He thought that maybe he didn't think he was good enough, and that's why he left and then said stuff. I want to see my daughter as well.
Seeing how big of an opportunity it is to be on the Ultimate Fighter,
even
to actually get to that point, exactly, to get to that point and then just be like, whatever. And he actually, he talked to Dos Santos, and Dos Santos convinced him to stay. And then, after one training session, he said it again.
I gotta go.
Said, whatever, I'm out of here. So, any other comments you guys have for
regarding the
fight?
Show? It's interesting because I actually scored the fight 2-0 for Torres.
And he seemed to have more control, but it seemed like Chris Cope.
But I wasn't upset that they called it a draw, simply because I was pretty annoyed that he kept clinching him for so long. I don't understand that, and they got so tired. It was
next week looks to be a little bit more drama. Might pick up.
I'm sorry, but when I'm watching these fights between the contestants, I'm trying to picture one of them like at welterweight. Let's see what happens when he faces like a Koscheck or something. And I'm just thinking like these guys have no hope.
But that's the beauty of the show. The guy that comes out at the end has learned from all the time with the coaches and going through the fights and living in the house. That when they get there, they should be ready.
They just look way too unimpressive to be turned around enough.
When they come out of those. After the Ultimate Fighter, they come out of probably the most intense training camp of their life. Yeah. Because they're going into the real professional training camps.
Yeah, exactly.
And fighters just generally change from the time they start to the end.
I hope so, man. The season's not looking good to me.
Yep. All right, so that's going to do it for this week's show. This is actually our last show in the radio booth. Until about July, we'll be coming back. They're opening up the new radio booth. And but we do have something coming up. We'll be doing shows from home. We're still figuring it out and everything, but we will get a show at least by next Sunday for you guys. So don't worry, we will continue to bring you guys some more news, some more previews and reviews. But for now, you guys won't get the amazing quality of the right radio. But until then, until July,
check out our website for updates.
www.themmaweighin.blogspot.com.
There's the plug.
Every Tuesday, look up for new rankings and all that stuff. Facebook page, we got everything going on. Everything's coming up big. Don't worry about it. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Later.